Yeah, of course we've been watching them.
Yeah.
Is this recording?
We're recording, we're live and kicking. Yeah.
Back.
We made it. Yeah.
And the 3-hour road trip from London to here.
I know. To middle of nowhere, Basel it again.
Yeah, you should really move house. Move back to civilization.
Can't afford it. If I move to London, I end up living in a shed or something. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. It's nuts. So how you finding London?
How am I finding it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving it. I can't wait to get out.
Oh shoot! Yeah, after your big one.
After Taiwan.
Yeah.
But I've been, I've always had mixed feelings about London because I don't like living there for lots of reasons, like the commuting.
Yeah.
The cost of. I mean, you pay half your rent goes on an apartment the size of this room.
Yeah.
And with like you and 3 other people living there, it's just
shed with locks. Pretty much.
For what you pay, you get nothing, and the kind of the quality of life is very low in that regard.
Yeah.
But then again, you've got access to, art, all you never make the most of it, but if you want to, it's there. Right? All the museums,
you've got access to it, but you're just never going to go.
Exactly. All the concerts all the events, and then of course the cuisine, food from all over the world, people from all over the world.
So we're saying in Essex we don't have like cuisine.
Anything.
Like we don't have anything now. We don't have Oriental cuisine and stuff like that. There's a local chippy around the corner. Yeah.
And some fried chicken.
Yeah, a couple.
Beans on toast.
I find London ridiculous because it's like, I feel like living in London, you're just living to work. And I feel like people live in London to be closer to their offices, which is not really life. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of missing out on the essence of life because you're living there just so that you're able to get to work quicker than anyone else can from outside of London. So I just can't stand it. And I love living in Essex, man. I get my peace and quiet and I can go into the chaos of London whenever I feel like it, and then escape when I feel like it as well, like with no trace or whatever. So yeah, I can't.
I'm still not moving to Essex.
I haven't sold it to you.
You're not selling it.
No, it's just a journey because obviously you're commuting you're traveling in from London to Essex, so it seems like a long journey.
Yes.
But when you live in Essex and everything you do is based in Essex, then it's home, isn't it? So yeah,
I suppose. But I wouldn't want to spend.
You don't want to spend
more than the amount of time it takes to make this show. In Essex.
Like, get me back home. Yeah.
For anyone in Essex who's watching this, I don't apologize.
I'm going to put it underneath in the subtitles, like, hates Essex, arrow pointing directly at your face. So how you feel about Game of Thrones though? Was you a hater or a lover of the last episode?
The last episode? I've seen it twice now. And one, it was so, I think it was just the filming, it was so dark, obviously. You couldn't see anything that was going on. So that was the frustrating thing. In terms of like what happened and... I thought it was a pretty exciting show. I liked spoilers. I liked I liked the fact that Arya was the one to kill the guy.
I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither. I thought it would be Jon, but I liked her role in the series has really been an interesting development.
She's definitely my favorite character. She's a badass. Yeah. And it was weird because when Jon was kind of like running through, spoiler again, when Jon was kind of running through the army and was like ducking and diving from the dragon trying to reach where Bran was, I thought he was going to go there and there's going to be this massive battle, and the dude didn't even make it to where the main battle took place.
Well, there was that because when I looked, I was reading, of course, as soon as you see the episode, you go online and you're like, and you start to read all about it, like, oh my god, what are the theories? And there was this one where he stands up right at the end and he shouts at the dragon, right? He's facing the dragon, and apparently he goes like, go or something, right? And he's supposed to, and everyone was just like, oh, he's just shouting. And actually we put the subtitles on to check and it said yells. Oh, okay. Right, so it didn't even tell you what he said.
What he was yelling,
But it sounded like he was saying go, and then you see the wisp of hair move on one of the White Walkers as he like turns his head like, and then Arya jumps at the thing. So there's a theory that he was working with Arya and he was distracting the dragon.
Oh, okay.
To give her the time to run through.
Okay, I've got an issue with a lot of the theories, because my thing is, if the show doesn't actually expose or show us what the theories lead up to, they just theories. It's just what it is. Yeah, we're just piecing it together.
That's fun.
Do you know what I mean? It's fun, but it's not really conclusive, is it? So to me, I find it strange.
It'll be conclusive in the final episode.
It's like, they're going to explain all the theories that we've had throughout the season.
Did you see Lost?
No, not really. I wasn't a big fan of Lost. No.
Okay, so Lost, I liked Lost, right? But it was like every episode there was. I mean, there were loads of loose ends that were never really tied up, and it ended up being like a mess after like the 4th, 5th season. But the first 3 seasons, the joy of watching Lost was just trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and coming up with all the theories for why is there a huge Egyptian statue in the middle of the island? You know, why are they speaking Latin? Why is there a polar bear? You know, like all this stuff. What's the smoke monster? There was all this crazy things that we wanted to figure out, and the kind of the fandom, all the discussion boards that really made the show enjoyable.
Yeah. So it does. I enjoy it. Like I'm one of the first to jump onto YouTube and just be like season 4, episode 3, like explainer or whatever, and then you got all these kids like telling you all these various theories, but I like piecing them together and trying to like figure out what theory I enjoy the most. But then I always think about, is the show ever really going to explain any of these theories? Are we going to get the official answer, or is this just the fun side that we have as fans, sort of like having a little subculture of like script writing?
The projection of Jon Snow being a Targaryen, like people figured that out seasons ago, right?
Yeah,
and eventually it does turn out to be the case. So there are these kind of.
Yeah, so he's technically doing the thing with his aunt.
I think. But apparently it's not such a big deal for the Targaryens.
No, and back in those days, it wasn't really a big deal anyway. Targaryen's been doing that, so
yeah. So he's carrying on the family tradition.
How do you think he's gonna end though? This is not a spoiler because we don't have a clue what's going on.
I don't
unless
know.
You're a secret character.
I would like. I would like Jon and Daenerys to rule as like king and queen, as a nice married couple. It's probably not going to happen.
Not Disney.
But that would be nice.
Yeah.
You know, I think Sansa's probably going to get with Tyrion.
Yeah, I can see that.
That kind of there was a bit of chemistry there at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
He'll probably die because that's what I want that, and it won't happen.
I think Jon needs to die.
Why? He's already died once.
Yeah, he's already died once. So really and truly, it's not the true Jon that we have. We have a ghost version of him. It's like Jon 2.0. So like, why is he still around? Do you know what I mean?
Because he's around for a reason.
To help them win the last battle and then disappear. Yeah. But then I don't want Daenerys being the only one on the throne either. So I don't know who's the next in line.
Because I think she's losing the plot a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
There's also another theory that she's going to be the Mad Queen.
I don't know if but she's obviously like when his I mean obviously like she wants to be the queen, so when there was the possibility of him challenging that role, she was like, you know, that means you have a claim to the throne, and she started daggers in her eyes.
Yeah,
so that made me think like, oh man, she might try and off Jon Snow. There might be maybe the battle of the two dragons.
Yeah, that's true.
They kill each other, and then
Tyrion might backstab them all and have his sister like.
Maybe they kill each other. And then Tyrion takes over as the king and marries Sansa, and then they unify the North and the South.
Damn, that would be a plot. Are you selling that?
That's what happened.
You're selling that plot, aren't you? Yeah. No, I can see that something weird happening.
That would be a great.
I just don't really want an all-out happy ending because I think that will spoil it. I think Game of Thrones has been known as the show that just kind of like throws spanners in the works and kind of builds your expectations up and completely crumbles it. And I've grown accustomed to it as a fan of the show, and I kind of expect it, and I want more of it. I want some more shocks. In the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes, whatever is left. So,
but as long as the arc is still solid, like that's fine with me.
Yeah.
But like in Lost, things just started falling apart, and I think it was partly because the writers, people had already figured. I think it was like the first episode.
Well, people figured out
they were like the first episode or something. Like they all, you know, the plane crashes, and then they all end up on this island, and then it's all this crazy stuff's happening. The big smoke monster and like the fans in the first episode were like, they're dead. They died in the plane crash and they're in purgatory.
Oh shoot!
And the writers were like, no, that's not what happened. No, and then they started building up. But then they couldn't. I think that as they were writing, people were just figuring out the story as they were going very, very quickly. And I think that in order to try to throw, you know, like throw them, like distract them from.
Yeah.
They just changed up the plot. I'm like, oh, well, they know we're going in this direction, so we'll do something different. But then they couldn't tie all the pieces together, and everything was shit. So then they just went, oh, fine, yeah, they're in purgatory. And that was the final.
That was the end of it.
That was it. Like they'd all died on the plane, and they were in purgatory, and everyone was just like, well, we figured that out like 7 years ago or something. Why did you? But
Yeah.
And I think so long as I don't mind the fact that we can figure things out, so long as the story is solid.
Yeah.
The loose ends are tied up, and the story ends in a satisfying
Some
way.
people did say the issue with people predicting what happens is one of the reasons why the Wrights decided to choose Arya to kill the White Walker. Even though if you look in the timeline, it's been predicted all along that she was meant to be the one to kill the White Walker. So with so many predictions of there being a massive battle between Jon Snow and the White Walkers, the writers were like, no, we're not going to have it. For a spanner in the work, Arya jumps up with a dagger and completely like annihilates him. So yeah, that must be a real tricky part for them, keeping track of what's happening outside of the realm of their reality of creating the show, and all of the fans going absolutely crazy with theories and predictions and so forth. Because if the predictions always come true, then it makes for a boring show. So as a writer,
I'm sure. They're still writing, right? And George R. R. Martin is still writing the books. He hasn't finished them, and there's so many theories. I'm pretty sure he reads them.
Yeah,
and he's just like, oh, that's way better than my idea.
Yeah. Totally
gonna steal that.
Yeah. What was your biggest shock of the show, like, ever in GOT? What, like, had you, like, no, I can't sleep, I can't take this. Did this really happen?
Well, the thing that, in terms of, like, the what kind of saddened me was maybe the Red Wedding. That was pretty dark.
Yeah.
In terms of what shocked me, what made me go, oh, was when the mountain crushed that guy's head.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
that was revolting. I don't think I don't think I slept for
traumatized.
I thought about that for quite a long time afterwards. That was a horrible scene.
Yeah, that was a bit nuts. Ugh. Yeah, no, the Red Wedding was definitely one of my ones. It completely caught me off guard, and I was like messaging my boys and be like, did they just kill everyone in the show? Is the show done now? Like, what happens now? Like, what's going on?
Stabbing the pregnant woman and stuff. Like, it was really horrible.
And we were heavily invested in the family as well, thinking, oh, okay, these are like the main characters. Because I was at the start when they were just like introducing us to this chaotic world. And I was like, gosh, you completely just killed off all the family now. So what's next now? Like, do I just tune into something else or whatever?
Well, you've got the renegades, you've got Bran in a wheelchair, you've got Jon Snow the bastard, and Arya the weirdo. And then, so you kind of had the misfits. And of course, Sansa's story was nuts as well.
Yeah. Well, talk about weddings. Like, how are you feeling about the W word?
Good. Yeah, it's a month away.
Yeah.
We've sorted pretty much everything out. We've got the venues ready and, as I say, the caterers and all the guests can we finalize who's coming, and we've even got like seating plans.
Yeah.
And we bought our tickets. I've got all the clothes. Everything's done.
Your and everything.
I've just gotta turn up.
You just got to turn up and just accept whatever. What does marriage mean to you? Like, what's your purpose behind it? Like,
well, we're not having a religious wedding.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
For
it's
me,
like a registry and a party.
Well, we're getting married in a church, but it's like a deconsecrated church, right? So you can do civil services in the church, and we're having a civil servant officiate. Cool. So I guess what it means for me is really it's the commitment that you are, a kind of a legally binding commitment as well, because there's security in that, right? So you're committing. Two people are. I'm not saying that like this is for everybody, of course, or you should do it, but for me, it's you're committing to somebody for the long term. Your relation, you've been through, like, we've been together almost 6 years now.
Amazing.
So we've been together long enough to understand what works and what doesn't work so well, and what we need to work on. But no relationship is perfect, right? But we know enough about one another to know that we're willing to push through for the long term, and it's a celebration of our relationship with where our friends and our family can come and celebrate with us. And it's just like a nice
little shingding.
Nice thing.
Yeah. Well, what do you talk about? I'm just going to straighten out your mic.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like
I'm talking my groin. It's gonna have to do the talking again.
Doing all the talking right now. At least if I point this upwards, then you'll capture most of it. That's all good.
I get it. Yeah. You know that the last time I was on this thing.
Yeah.
My students found it. The video because they on my badge at school. It's just got my full name on it. Right? So this kid I teach, he came up to me and went, "Oh, sir, you know, 'cause I teach his younger brother." He goes, "Sir, my brother's doing a presentation on you for school, for his school project. He's doing a presentation on you." I was like, "Me?" And he goes, "Yeah, he found a video of you. He found a video of you online, and he said that you were drinking beer and swearing."
You said like 1 or 2 swear words.
I think I said. I was just like, So I'm trying to keep, because they'll find this one.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to keep it clean,
as clean as possible,
and I'm enjoying my apple juice.
Yeah, apple juice is the way forward. Disclaimer to the students out there.
Yeah, very spicy apple juice.
That's the thing about the world nowadays. Literally, you put someone's name into Google and bang, that's it. Like, you've got their whole life popping up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's no privacy anymore, really.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
That's what like employers do to their prospective employees.
But are they legally allowed to do that though? Because I know a lot of them like check your Facebooks and like your LinkedIn is business related. So
sure,
I can understand.
Check your Facebook, your Instagram. I'm sure they will. Yeah. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Even when I worked in office settings and I know that there's a new colleague coming in and I've got the full name, I'll quickly go onto Facebook and just be like, "Oh, just wanted to see who you're about to work with or who the new kid in the office is." And I mean, it's just so easily available and accessible to everyone. Yeah. It's not really like a major breach, is there? I'm not like hacking into some sort of secret system.
If you're putting your stuff out in the public domain, then you just have to live with the consequences.
Yeah, most definitely.